I'm Chris Griesmer.
I'm Wendy Fraser-Snyder.
I'm Darren Edwards. We're here today at Miller Motorsports Park. We're going to teach you about shutter speed. Before we get going, let's show you a couple of examples of a slow shutter speed and of a fast shutter speed. This first one is of a very fast shutter speed. Now this car is traveling about 50 miles an hour, but it looks as though it's been parked right there on the racetrack. And the reason for that is because it has a very fast shutter speed. It just stopped the action. Now this next one is a slower shutter speed, and what it does is it shows some motion because we're panning with the car, which means that we're tracking with the car going across it as it goes past us. So if you notice in the second one, the background has been blurred while the car is in focus.
Now that we've shown you some examples of shutter speed, let's talk about how you make those adjustments on your camera. Over to Wendy.
The shutter is very easy to control. What you'll do is you'll find the mode dial. You'll notice that there are several modes. The mode that you're looking for is S. S stands for shutter. On the Canon models, you'll notice that there's a little difference, and it has a TV, which stands for timed variable. Same exact thing on the Canon. But what you're looking for is the S, or TV. That's the shutter, and you're going to go ahead and select that mode. What that's going to do is it's going to give you shutter priority. Shutter is based on seconds. So I'll demonstrate using the Nikon D40. We're in shutter mode, and you'll notice that there's a big 1 with an inch sign next to it. That is indicative of 1 second, which is a very long time for a shutter to be open when you're taking photographs. This is what it sounds like. See how there's that long pause? That's an actual 1 second. Generally speaking, when you're taking photographs, you actually want to be a lot faster than that. So you'll notice that as I turn up the shutter, my shutter gets faster. And I can even go up to 1/80th, 1/100th of a second. And as I get higher, you'll notice that it becomes a fraction, 1/800th of a second, which actually is quite a bit faster than what we just experienced with 1 second. You can continue on with your shutter by going up to, obviously, as high as your camera can go. In this case, it's 1/4000th of a second, which is really fast. See how fast that is compared to the 1 second? The Nikon D3S, similar concept. So you're looking for the mode button. You're gonna press the mode button, and you'll notice that as I toggle through the modes, I can select what mode I'd like to be in. Program, and there's shutter. S for shutter. When I press the mode button, I can toggle through the modes, and you'll notice that I'm going through manual, aperture priority, program mode, bulb, and then back to TV, timed variable, which again on the Canon is shutter speed. And once I have that set, I can go ahead and switch my shutter speed. You'll notice that just my shutter speed is moving. Now that's a pretty slow shutter speed, 1/15th of a second, but I can also on the fly, as I'm shooting, turn up to a very fast shutter speed, 1/1000th of a second.
The first effect we can get with shutter speed is putting a camera on a tripod and using a slow shutter speed, allowing the object passing through the frame of focus to become blurry. Darren's going to explain the second effect of shutter speed to you.
So we've been shooting here for a couple hours now. We've been getting some really good shots. Now one of the effects that I really like is called panning. And what you do is you set your shutter speed at a slower shutter speed. I've been setting mine between 1/25th and 1/40th of a second. Then as the cars go by, you track with the car. Now by doing that, your shutter speed is slower, so it blurs the background because that's moving quickly through your field of view. However, the car is staying stationary in the field of view because you're panning with it, and that causes the car to be in focus, but the background's all out of focus and all blurred.
The third effect is using a very fast shutter speed. We're standing alongside the straightaway here at Miller Motorsports Park, where the cars reach speeds of up to 150 miles per hour. Now, using a very fast shutter speed allows us to capture them here on the straightaway, but does give the effect as if they are only parked. We know for a fact, since we were there, that they were traveling at excess speeds of 100 miles an hour. To recap today's lesson, think of these 3 easy steps that we took. Fast freezing of motion with a fast shutter speed. Slow blur motion, slow shutter speeds with the tripod. And the third one, panning, using a fast shutter speed and panning with the vehicle. Or using a slow shutter speed and panning with the vehicle. Both will give 2 different effects. Hope you've had a great time listening to this wonderful instructional video. Now it's time for you to go out and put these techniques to use. Happy shooting!